welcome to West Hills Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, also affectionately known as WOOF. My name is Scott Winters, and my pronouns are he and him. And it is very good to see all of you on this very chilly but sunny, beautiful Sunday morning, our last service before the end of the year. And I am pleased to serve as your lay leader this morning for this very warm and vibrant and welcoming congregation. We welcome you, whether you are here in person or watching online or at another time. We are so glad that each of you are here today. We welcome you if you are all still glowing from the joy of this past week, or you're really glad that it's all over and breathing a sigh of relief. You are welcome here to bring all of who you are, all that you are experiencing in your life, and all that you are feeling as you are witnessing what is happening in our world right now. You are welcome of who you love, no matter who you love, and no matter your gender. You're welcome no matter the amount of money that you have, your immigration status, or your housing situation. And you're welcome whether your heart and life are full and vibrant this morning, or if you feel lost, if you're grieving a loss, or feeling some uncertainty about the future. We welcome you into this beloved community of conscience and compassion. We especially want to welcome those of you who are here for the first time. We invite you to fill out one of our welcome forms. I think there should be a QR code on the seat in front of you that you can scan to fill that out. And when you do so, you get to be added to our email list called our e-blast, and it comes weekly, and it kind of lets you know all the fun things that we're doing here at WOOF, and there's always a lot going on. So there's a lot of things that you can plug into that might suit your interests, and it's a great way to get to know people too. For our online viewers, we will be offering a follow-up coffee hour after the service today, where you can talk about the service. And there was a link for that was emailed this morning. And for those of us here in person, please join us for our coffee hour downstairs. It's a great time to get caught up with everybody, meet some new people, and just have a good time together. Our service is being live streamed today, and we also have seating downstairs if that would be more comfortable for you. So now I invite you to stand as you are willing and able, and we will sing Love Will Guide Us, number 131 in our gray hymnal.
Love will guide us, peace that's right us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from grief to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace that's tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from grief to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night.
You may be seated. Our speaker today is Vicky Davies. She is with End of Life Choices Oregon, which is a nonprofit organization that provides compassionate support, education, and advocacy for Oregonians and their families facing end-of-life decisions. Vicky has been a volunteer with End of Life Choices Oregon since 2019, initially supporting clients and currently is outreach coordinator. She finds this work brings much meaning and allows her for more tenderness in her own life. So I'd like to welcome Vicky today. Her colleague, Sue Porter, was planning to be here as well, but unfortunately she's come down with an illness and won't be joining us today. But we're so glad Vicky's here. I want to thank you all for being here today to engage in this sensitive and important topic of finding hope while facing death. This is a paradoxical task, isn't it? In mainstream culture, hope often equals cure. In the hospice and end of life work, hope changes its focus from finding a cure to trying to make the person feel comfortable and pain-free and improving their quality of life, defined in the patient and family's own terms. Sometimes this means taking advantage with the Death with Dignity law here in Oregon to provide agency to when we die, after we're given a terminal diagnosis. As a hospice chaplain who works with the terminally ill, I see death as a natural and sacred process. I have a passion to help folks die with dignity and comfort, and to respect folks' wishes for what they need and want at the end of their life. So today I'm really glad that we have this time and this opportunity to talk about these topics today. I know that talking about death can bring up a lot of emotions and a variety of emotions for everybody, and it may remind us of those who have already died. It may remind us of those that we love that are currently going through a terminal illness, or it may be something that we're going through at this time in our life as well. So I invite you to receive all of your feelings with tenderness and care today. I think it's brave and beautiful that we can all be here today to engage on this topic in our culture that would sometimes like to just avoid talking about it. But I feel that talking about it openly can help remind us that we're not alone with our feelings, and that being more informed about our options can help us feel like we have more agency and more peace about the dying experience. And that death is something we all need to face at some point, right? We all have a terminal condition from that perspective. Talking about death can also help us find meaning in how we live our lives now. So I've chosen some songs and readings today which invite the knowledge of our death to be received with compassion, acceptance, and also freedom. My hope is that today's service will give us and help us to live life more fully and to have a greater appreciation for the life that we are living today. So I'd like to invite Kim forward to light our chalice today. As we light our chalice at the turning of the year, we pause at a threshold. Ahead of us awaits what we cannot yet see. In our faith, death is not only an ending, but a teacher, reminding us that all life moves as seasons turn, and nothing is ever truly lost. Let's say our affirmation together. Let us open our eyes to see what is beautiful and what is wondrous. Let us open our minds to learn what is true and what is mysterious. Let us open our hearts to love ourselves and our neighbors. Our opening reading today is a poem that I know that we all enjoy, from Mary Oliver. She's almost like a liturgy here at WOOF. And I thought this poem in Blackwater Woods was very suitable for our topic today. Look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds. And every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I have ever learned in my lifetime leads back to this. The fires and the black river of loss, whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know, To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes, to let it go, to let it go. We will now sing Spirit of Life. And folks, you're welcome to stand if you want to.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
You may be seated. Let us take a moment now to reflect on gratitude. What are you grateful for this past year? And I invite folks to shout out if something comes to mind that you'd like to share. You're grateful that it's over. I was feeling that way too. New life, trees, friendship,
Our daughter.
your daughter. I'm glad that she can visit you today.
A new cat.
You're our new cat, yes. Much joy.
My granddaughters.
Granddaughters. Yeah.
Being alive.
Just being alive. Yes, grateful for life. Yeah. Music. Nieces? Nieces, yes. And nephews, I second that as well.
And being healthy.
And being healthy, yeah.
My brothers and sisters.
Brothers and sisters, our siblings.
You.
Oh, thank you. And you too. Music, yeah.
My son and daughter and grandkitties.
Oh, your son and daughter and grandkids. And kitties, yes. Thank you for sharing. I love hearing what everybody wants to share, what's on your heart, and for all of us to know what you're experiencing in your life today. And this congregation likes to acknowledge gratitude every week because it helps remind us who we are. It helps remind us why we're here. It helps remind us that we're not alone and how grateful we can be for this community that can offer so much support during times of challenge. And it has been a very challenging year in so many ways. And I know my involvement here at WOOF has helped me feel more comforted and supported through these challenging times. And we also think about giving as we think about gratitude, and how sometimes when we feel grateful, it's a natural response to want to give back. And so we always invite folks to think about what you'd like to give, both in tangible and intangible ways, because your gifts are welcome here. And that's one reason I really love WOOF, is that so much of what we want to offer is welcome here. So I'd like to invite our hosts to come forward. We're going to take up an offering for the support of our beloved community. thank you for your offerings today. Will you join me in our affirmation of gratitude and giving? Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for all those who share their gifts with us, for we are enriched by their giving. And let us be grateful even for our needs, so that we may learn from the generosity of others. It is now time for our Time for All Ages, and Martha McJacobs is going to lead us today. So if there's any children with us today, we invite you to come forward and join Martha at the front if you feel comfortable doing that. Okay.
Can you hear me? Good. Good morning, all. I'm really honored to be here to share this beautiful story with you. And before we start, I'd like us to do a mindful moment. So I invite you to sit as tall as you can, as relaxed as you can. Close your eyes and feel your body being supported by the chair, your feet on the ground, on the earth. Notice where your hands are resting, the clothes on your body, the temperature of your body, emotions or body sensations as they arise, thoughts as they float by, letting everything be as it is without altering it, changing it, fixing it, solving it. And then coming back to the breath, your life force. And notice where you experience the breath in your body. And then slowly open your eyes to be here for the story. Ida always. Written by Karen Levis and Charles Santoso, who did the illustrations. And my husband is being the clicker. Gus lived in a big park in the middle of an even bigger city. Buildings grew around him and shifted the shape of the sky. Zookeepers poked in and out, and visitors came and went. But every morning when keys clicked and shoes clacked, Gus crawled out of his cave and spent his day with Ida. Ida was always there, always. When Gus tossed the ball, Ida was there to catch it. And when Gus splashed water, Ida was there to splash him right back. They chased and raced until school bells rang. Then the two friends flopped down on their favorite rock while the city pulsed around them. "Oh, I wish we could see it," Gus sighed. "You don't have to see it to feel it," said Ida. "Listen." They heard buses groan, trucks rumble, police whistle, taxis honk, pigeons coo, and people say, "Hey, wait, yo, hello," and children laugh. "That's the city's heartbeat," said Ida. "It's right here with us always." When the sky grew dark, Gus and Ida waved goodnight and crawled back into their caves. With the subways humming underground, they added their snores to the sounds of their city. Every day was always the same. Until one morning, when keys clicked and shoes clacked, Gus crawled out, but Ida wasn't there. Gus lumbered to Ida's cave. He heard her breathing, coughing, snoring, sleeping. He sat in their sunniest spot and waited. The coffee carts ground their beans, and the squirrels squabbled over crumbs. Visitors shuffled in, keepers bustled about. Ida had never slept so late. Snow monkeys and taxicabs screeched, ice cream trucks jingled, and still Ida didn't come. Keeper Sonia came instead. Sonia told Gus that Ida was very sick. Usually there's a way to make a sick bear better, but this time was different. Ida wouldn't hurt, but she would get tired and too weak to swim and play. Then one day when her body stopped working, Ida would die. Sonia's voice was soft. But the words felt rough to Gus. His insides churned, his chin shook, the sky rumbled, and Gus rushed to his friend. "Don't go," he growled. "Don't go, don't go, don't!" Ida growled right back. Together they stomped and snarled. Their growls turned into howls so loud they filled up the zoo, rising higher than skyscrapers, scaring pigeons, surging toward stars. And then they stopped. The two friends folded into one shadow and slumped quietly on the rocks. Two bare noses sniffled, two bare breaths panted, two bare hearts echoed each other's beat. A plane roared overhead. Gus and Ida wondered where it was going. They wondered where Ida was going too. They wondered and guessed and imagined as they whispered nose to nose. "Wherever I go," said Ida, "I bet I'll always smell your fishy breath." That made Gus smile. He wasn't sure if he should, but Ida was giggling too. They let their laughs bounce back and forth between them. From then on, Ida spent most days in her cave. She slept a lot, but she didn't hurt. The keepers took good care of her, and Gus helped. He gathered her favorite toys and fishy treats, and he brought her visitors' notes. There were growling days and laughing days and days that mixed them up. Sometimes Ida needed a moment alone, and sometimes Gus did too. And Ida always told Gus, at the end of each day, Gus always told Ida, "I will miss you." And Ida always told Gus, "I will miss you too." They would cuddle until the sky grew dark and the lamps of the cities clicked on. They would wave goodnight 1,000 times and then wave a few times more. Then one sunny day, while Gus smoothed her fur, Ida curled into quiet. Her eyes fluttered shut, and they didn't open anymore. Gus pressed one last paw into Ida's paw. The papers shared the news. The city cried. For days, the zoo was filled with goodbyes. Now when keys click and shoes clack, Gus crawls out of his cave, knowing Ida won't be there. He dives and swims alone, and he eats his lunch with Sonia, and they roll Ida's favorite yellow ball. Someday Gus forgets. He looks for Ida on the rock in her cave behind the waterfall. When he remembers she isn't there, he rests in the shadows. But even in the shadows, the sounds of the city reach him. He hears buses groan, trucks rumble, police whistle, taxis honk, pigeons coo, and people say, "Hey, wait, yo, hello," and children laugh. Gus smiles. He steps into the spot where Ida liked to soak in the sun. He listens to their city pulsing around him. He remembers that Ida said, "You don't have to see it to feel it." The sidewalks tap and the streets hum. Gus's heart beats. And Ida is right there, always. Thank you.
Thank you, Martha.
An honor. Thank you.
I invite you now into some time of reflection as I share a reading by Joel Miller. But this isn't to say that I expect to find peace with death. I still hate it, especially when it comes too soon. But even though I hate it, death also reminds me to treasure life. It reminds me to listen more carefully when my children talk, to call my parents more often, to be patient when the kids are experimenting with all the new ways a piano can be used to make noise. Death reminds me to take chances and risk failure. It reminds me that I am not alone in the world. I find solace in celebrating the lives of people who've come before me. Although I can't say with certainty what will happen to me when I die, I know that I am part of a great stream of life that began long before I was born and will flow on long after I die. We share immortality in our connections to the universe and through the small, unique ways we change the world as we live in it. I find sadness and joy in remembering. I also feel anger and comfort. And recognizing these feelings is a part of celebrating. To feel is to be alive. And experiencing our feelings reminds us that life can be filled with meaning, even though death will come to us all someday. So I invite us now to take a few moments in silence together, and I will sound the chimes. We've come to the part of our service where we have our ritual. For those of you who are new, we have a bowl of water and some stones up here at the front. And every week we come together to bring forward what we are experiencing in our lives. Sometimes we're experiencing grief and sorrow. disappointment and suffering in our lives, and other times we have celebrations, new births, love, new beginnings. And this bowl of water represents this community, and all that we bring is held in this space, as in the water. And the stones can represent these moments of our lives, the situations that we bring. And we can put into these stones feelings that we can then drop into the water to represent being held by this community. So I invite folks, as you feel like you'd like to come forward, to bring a stone and place it in the water, and I'll have the microphone here for folks that might like to briefly share a little bit about what their stone represents. And if folks could come up this aisle and return down this aisle.
My best friend Don died peacefully at home on Christmas Eve.
Today I'm grateful for this service as I'm starting to study to be a death doula, and I am 90 days clean and sober.
Oh. Hey.
Well, I have many joys, and I am very, very fortunate. Every day I say I'm so fortunate, but today I'm filled with joy because in 3 days I will be officially retired after 55 years of working.
Wow.
My Christmas gift this year was 100 days sober.
I'm grateful today for friends and family.
I'm grateful for new beginnings and starting new traditions.
Picking out the biggest stone for hope for the new year.
And this is a stone that represents all of the joys and sorrows that we continue to hold in our heart that are unexpressed. We will now sing the hymn, Find a Stillness, number 352.
Find a stillness, build a stillness, let the stillness carry me. Find the silence, hold the silence, let the silence carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power. I will find true harmony. Seek the essence, hold the essence, let the essence carry me. Let me flower, help me flower, watch me flower, carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you, Betsy. Always appreciate your gifts. This is a reading by Sherwin B. Newland, who was an American surgeon and writer who taught bioethics, history of medicine, and medicine at the Yale School of Medicine, and occasionally bioethics and history of medicine at Yale College. His 1994 book, How We Die, Reflections on Life's Final Chapter, was a New York Times bestseller and won the National Book Award for Nonfiction, as well as being a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize. When my time comes, I will seek hope in the knowledge that insofar as possible, I will not be allowed to suffer or be subjected to needless attempts to maintain life. I will seek it in the certainty that I will not be abandoned to die alone. I am seeking it now in the way I try to live my life, so that those who value what I am will have profited by my time on earth and be left with comforting recollections of what we have meant to one another. I now invite Vicky to come forward, and we will try to have time for questions after her presentation, but we'll also have time to ask more questions downstairs at coffee time too. Thank you, Vicky.
Thanks for the warm welcome. Yeah, thank you. I shared with Scott a little bit about my history with Unitarian Universalist, and I lived in Wisconsin for much of my youth and attended a church in Madison that from about the age of 9 to 16, it was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, and it was an amazing space, and I'm feeling some of that here now, so it's pretty amazing. Big subject. I'm only going to be able to touch on little bits for all of you, and so please come and ask me questions afterwards. I hope that this gives you just a little bit of insight into what resources are available to you right now or in the future. So I'm a volunteer with End of Life Choices. We're a nonprofit. We've been around since 2007. We are as you can see, the only statewide organization. And our goal is to help educate people, help people navigate the end-of-life choices that they have, and come to a place of peace within themselves. We have groups in Portland, Salem, Eugene, Bend, and Medford. We also work on the coast and try to get to Eastern Oregon as well if we can. Fortunately, one of the benefits of the pandemic is we have telemedicine and lots of options available to us now. As you can see, we were the pioneer, and you probably knew that if you've been lived in Oregon for a long time. There are now 13 states total who allow for the use of medical aid in dying, which is commonly known as death with dignity. Illinois and New York are going to be signing that into law. And then there's 4 other states that are currently in legislation. So some of the choices that are available to you are hospice, the medical aid in dying law, and voluntary stopping eating and drinking. Hospice is it's been established since 1982, I think. Ronald Reagan, of all people, got it going. And it is a right to all people. It varies from state to state how they operate, but mostly if you are given a 6-month diagnosis of terminal diagnosis, you are eligible for hospice. And it is an amazing service. I'll just give Scott a little plug here. They offer spiritual, emotional, physical, medical support to families and their patients. We work really closely with hospice because they're our lifeline. Most of us volunteers are lay people, so we can't provide the medical support that people might need. Another option is voluntary stopping eating and drinking. And this is legal in all 50 states. Essentially, you are allowed to stop eating and drinking, refuse medication, and allow your body to naturally go through the process of dying. It's just speeding it up because you're essentially going to die from dehydration within 1 to 2 weeks. It takes a lot of stamina, takes a lot of determination. It takes 24-hour care. It takes oversight from hospice and often palliative care doctors. And fortunately at our organization, we have a few people who specialize in this. So then the last option, which I'm really going to dig into a little bit more, is medical aid in dying. And I'll give you the nuts and bolts on this. To qualify, you have to be 18 years or older. You have to have been given a 6-month prognosis from 2 Oregon physicians. You have to be mentally capable of making this decision on yourself, of expressing your desire, of telling the doctors you want it charted, of saying this is my choice. You have to submit three requests. 1 is written and 2 are oral. And this is done within a 15-day period. Fortunately, one of the amendments to the Oregon law now is that cases can be expedited if someone seems to be declining quickly. You have to be able to self-administer the medication. So we can mix the medication for you, we can hold the glass, but you have to drink it or push it through a feed tube, or now we have rectal administration. We're one of only 2 states that allows out-of-state residents to come here, Vermont being the other one. Here's a couple stats for you. Not my favorite page, but as you can see, it's pretty much equal men and women. We're mostly older. The diseases are pretty spread across there. And for me, the most important piece or the two most important pieces, is that 92% were enrolled in hospice, so they had care for them in their home or in the hospital, and 83% died at home, which is probably what most people wish for if you ask them. So why people choose MAID? Autonomy, loss of independence. Ability to take parts in activity that make life enjoyable. Dignity. Bodily control. Minor concerns, burden on friends and family. Inadequate pain control. And the financial implications of treatment. Some treatment is just way too expensive for people to undergo. One interesting thing is 607 prescriptions were written in Oregon last year, and only 376 were used. So for many people, just having the prescription, knowing it was there, or knowing they could call the pharmacy and get it, was enough. And they died peacefully in their home. Another interesting piece of information is it's only 0.9% of the deaths in Oregon are those that use medical aid in dying. So it's not even 1% of the population. And that was one of the fears when they wrote the law, is, oh, people are gonna do this. Well, no. These people are doing this out of their choice for their peace. So as I mentioned, we educate the public. We speak with hospice organizations, senior centers, or churches, fellowships, all kinds of groups. We physically and emotionally help guide our clients through the process. Imagine you're getting older, you have a disease, you have fewer people around to support you. All those things that you have to do seem that much more intense, that much harder. So we step in and help people work their way through the process. We will help you find supportive doctors and pharmacies if we can. We also attend and facilitate planned deaths. So we'll ask people, what do you want? What do you want this to look like? Who do you want there? How can this be an important day for you? And feel supported as you do it. Our work is confidential and respectful. So now I'm going to read you a story because I'm not good at telling stories without notes. So this is a client I had, and her name was Marcy. She came, some people come to us with family support, and some people are living alone. This is the story of Marcy, whose name has been changed for privacy. She had a 6-month diagnosis and lived in a small apartment by herself. At 94 years old, you can imagine most of her friends had predeceased her. And she could no longer drive, so getting around wasn't an easy option. Marcy did not want anyone to have to care for her in decline. She wanted to exit in her way and on her own terms. This happened in the fall of the first year of the COVID pandemic, which meant we were masking, social distancing, and using video conferencing for much of our work. Marcy was on hospice care and enjoyed a rich relationship with her social worker, nurse, and care aide. Rosa the carried would come over some evenings, and together they would laugh while watching reruns of the Golden Girls. Marie, the social worker, brought her cookies each time they met and assisted her with the technology and paperwork. Marcy knew that using medical aid in dying would be a challenge for her and asked her hospice team for support. Marie facilitated the virtual connection to volunteers, the doctors, and the witnesses to complete the necessary steps of the law. Luckily, the medical director from her hospice was willing to be one of the 2 doctors needed to evaluate her eligibility. On the day of her intentional death, she was the consummate hostess. In fact, it felt like I was invited to a party, and it was a party because she had chosen her 95th birthday to die. Marcy pre-ordered a sandwich and dessert tray for all of us who were present from hospice and Elcor. There was coffee and tea set up with her best china. Thank you notes were neatly laid out on the counter for each of us. And as you can imagine, she died gracefully and on her own terms. I'd like to share some of her words. Thank you for your kindness with this difficult journey I have embarked on. This service and choice that Elcor offers people who are looking for an answer is remarkable and offers hope. Please know I am grateful for your assistance. And yes, I've kept this note ever since. Have to do this plug. How you can support us by donating, requesting an outreach, or volunteering. I'm going to push a special ask to all of you because I'm looking for people who are connected to organizations or fraternities or groups that they think might want to know more about this. So if you have any tips, I'll meet you in the lobby afterwards. And thank you.
Thank you, Vicky. So yes, Vicky will be available for questions in the lobby or downstairs, wherever she might be. But there's it's a big topic as we've tried to touch on today, and I'm sure folks have questions, so feel free to ask Vicky for further conversation about it. Why don't we go ahead and sing our final song? It's Lady of the Seasons Laughter, number 51. I invite folks to stand as you are able.
Lady of the seasons, laughter, in the summer's warmth be near. When the winter follows after, teach our spirits not to fear. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning year. Sister of the evening starlight, in the falling shadows stay here among us till the firelight of tomorrow's dawning ray. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning day. Mother of the generations, in whose love all life is worth, sleepers to birth. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning earth. Goddess of all time's progression, stand with us when we engage hands and hearts to end oppression, writing history's fairer page. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning age.
As we now extinguish our chalice, may the memory of this flame honor what has come to rest. Bless what is in transition, and illuminate the courage it takes to step forward without certainty. May we cross this threshold together, grateful, grieving, and still open to wonder. We extinguish this flame, but not the vision and compassion of our faith. May they stay with you until we meet again. Let us now face the center and join hands as we sing Carry the Flame.